processing, and accepting your challenge. This may seem simple, but the first step to overcoming your failure and rising from the ashes is to accept the fact that you were not able to achieve the goal in a manner that you were hoping. Whatever it is that you did not succeed at, that is in the past. It does no good to overfixate on your failures, especially when they are related to feelings of inadequacy and desolation. Those feelings can be very consuming, especially when you were very invested in the project that didn't work out. Acceptance can be a very difficult thing to master, especially if you're in the habit of being very hard on yourself. Unfortunately, most of us are, and this can prove to be detrimental to our emotional and sometimes mental health. That is why it is so important to come to terms with the event that is getting you down in the first place. Whether this is a failed project or the result of a difficult phase of life, it is time to examine what happened to you and try to find an objective point of view about it. Do not make the mistake of believing that your failure defines you. On the contrary, the only thing that defines you is the way you handle yourself in the face of adversity. That is when we find out what we are really made of. Unfortunately, many of us are programmed from an early age to believe that if something is hard or doesn't come easy to us, or if we fail at something, then we are just not good at it. Perseverance is something that is usually not taught in most schools or households, except by example, and those examples can be sadly rare. Do not blame yourself for feeling crushed under the weight of your challenge. This is a natural reaction to have. It is far worse to punish yourself for failing to put yourself through the ringer for being affected by that failure. Instead of punishing yourself, allow yourself to feel the things you were not fully letting yourself feel. Try to understand that grief is a common feeling when you have lost something, and don't be afraid or feel silly for expressing those feelings. Consider the event that has discouraged you from all angles. Try to journal about the way it has made you feel. If you need to, you could even consider speaking to a qualified professional who can help you to sort out the difficult feelings related to this event. This can be especially helpful if you have experienced some variety of trauma. Sometimes, traumatic events can make it that much more difficult to succeed. So working through them can be a great way to equip yourself with the tools and fortitude that sometimes needs to be developed in order to succeed. Once you have been able to make peace with your failure, and have stopped blaming yourself and feeling resentful and embarrassed about it, instead beginning to see the event as objectively as possible, you will begin to create the mental mind space you need to move forward. Instead of wasting time and energy being stressed about your past failures, you will be able to learn from them instead and begin to grow and prepare yourself for a life of success.